Alright guys, we're back. So somebody mentioned that I should just stick to the gym. So from now on, this isn't going to be a car build channel. This is Reese Works Out in the Backyard channel. So sorry about that, but somebody said that's what I should do with my time, so that's what I'll do, because the internet's always right. Cheers. Not really guys, just having a bit of a laugh there. Anyway, thanks for noticing. I do like to get in the gym every once in a while. Not too much nowadays, probably not for the last couple of years, but I do enjoy it. So yeah, thanks for noticing that. Let's get stuck into the build. Okay guys, all of a sudden it's cold and wet here in WA. So winter has basically snuck up on us overnight. And it's raining and you can't really do much outside. So I wanted to get the engine built and finished in this video, but unfortunately the rings haven't arrived still for the 253. So we're going to get back onto doing some suspension stuff. I'm going to try and change out these front ball joints and front upper and lower wishbone bushers. So we'll get stuck into that and then might see if we can get this diff mounted a bit safer as well, because the Falcon diff doesn't exactly line up with the Holden HQ leaf springs, so that'll be the thing we do after we get these this front end done. I've actually picked up a set of brand new rotors and wheel bearings as well, so we'll chuck them on, and yeah, stick around. Don't think I'll be using these again. Check out the corrosion on those bad boys. What brand are they? It says Willy or something. Anyway, next. Okay guys, so we've got a baby asleep inside, so I need to do something to make this a bit quieter. So I'm going to wrap this glove around the steering joint there, so I can give it a shock without making a heap of noise. Hope this works. Yep. Alright guys, next thing, I've got to get that big castle nut off and got to shock the spindle to release the taper on that. So I'm going to do that one, and then I'm going to do this one at the top. Once I've done them, I'm going to put the jack under the lower control arm, just here, support the weight, stop that spring just flying out, and then I'll be able to remove this whole assembly pretty much. I'll leave the disc and everything on there, pull that complete assembly out of there, and then I'll take out my lower control arm and upper control arm, and we'll start getting into these bushes. Split pin first. I think we might take this off on the floor. Looks like the bottom one's already, the top one's already released. So I don't really want to make noise I don't have to make. So I'll take this off as it is, and later on I'll split the ball joint. Very slowly release the jack. Go. Now we're going to get in here and remove this bolt and this bolt, and that whole bottom control arm assembly is going to come out of there. Okay, so that's the lower control arm out. So I have to take the upper control arm out, but I'll do that in a minute. Just want to show you something that I found here. So this car did have a very poor negative camber alignment on the driver's side, and I was a bit worried because when I was pulling this apart, I didn't feel any extra movement in the bushes, and that's the original reason why I wanted to replace them, because I assumed that they'd perished and collapsed. But when I realised there's no movement in there, I started to get a bit nervous. But I have found, as you can see here, we've got a much smaller gap here in the bush than we do over here. So I don't know how long this thing was sitting for, but it looks as though over time, with the weight on the vehicle,
this bush is distorted and the center pin's moved and it's given us a bad alignment. That's what I'm thinking. I guess we're only going to find out by bloody changing them, but that's where I think our problem's coming from. So let's get to start pulling them out in a minute. As you can see, same as always, put your work boots on, boys. Yeah, alright. Let's get this all apart. Let's get this top upper control arm off. Yep. Alright guys, I'm sure you can see the difference there. The original bush is way crushed and distorted, and the new one, the eyelet is dead center. So that'll fix our camber issue. That one's the same, way off. Nowhere near it. So I'll rip them out, get the new ones in, and start working on getting these off. Well, that was fun. So I've got this one apart, got the ball joint out, got the bushes out of the lower control arm, and I've got the new ones ready to go back in. Got this tool here that I've made up the right spacing, and that one will also go in there. I'm just going to knock out this ball joint next. I'll do that in the morning. We'll have a clean up on the other side. So I'll see you tomorrow. Alright guys, so I'm back in the shed. Fresh start today. So, you know, every once in a while you just need to take a break. Anyway, got back in the shed and been pushing these bushes in this morning. And I've gotten somewhere finally. I'll give you a look. So, as I was saying earlier, you can see this bush is off, way off. What do we got here? Got 10 mil to the top on the left there, and then we've got 20 on the bottom. So it's offset heaps up to this side. And then the new one is 15 and 15. So we're smack on in the middle. So it wasn't easy, and I don't recommend doing it if you don't have a press. But hey, you can do it. So I'm going to get stuck back into it now. I'll do the second control arm, and then we'll assemble the front suspension. So I've got the new upper control arms together. Got the new bushes in here. So that was a real mission, and I wouldn't recommend it unless you've got some sort of a special tool or a press. So what I ended up doing was I supported the back here on the vise, and then I just punched this out with the chisel and repeated the same on the other side. And then when I put it back together, I supported around here on the vise just with the jaws, and then I just punched the bearing back in with the hammer. Then I punched this, supported the bush, punched this rod back into the bush there, and then over this side I came around, supported this in the vise here. Hang on a second. Yeah, had that in the vise, punched this down, and then adjusted how far it was in by hitting it back the other way. I know it's not the way to do it, but we got there in the end. The bushes are in, everything's straight. So now what we've got to do is get these ball joints in. So I've got a set of ball joints. I'll grab those and I'll come right back. So I picked up these off of eBay. That's part number there. They were not the cheapest, not the most expensive, so I didn't skimp out on them. They were sort of mid-range price, and they look like they're pretty good, so we'll get those in and get these control arms back in the chassis. So these are really simple, guys. You just grab the control arm, grab the ball joint, line it up, plonk it in there, put your bolts in. Okay, so they're ready to go back in. Bolted down nice and snug. Got my grease nipples in there. One thing to be aware of, guys, these are marked left and right. So you've got an L there, and you've got an R here. So make sure they go on the right way around. Let's go. So they just go on to the studs, just like that. Couple of nuts, and we've left these loose until the end. Get your studs there. On. Now, whatever your spaces were you pulled out of here, probably a good idea to put them back in. And then you're close for your wheel alignment, but you still need to get wheel alignment afterwards. Alright, next step. Okay guys, so these bushes are out. Ooh, hot. As you can see, I've gone to town on them with the hammer and chisel. This one was already pretty stuffed, so I just hammered the center out and then folded it in. And I've made sure that I haven't collapsed in the sides there, so start putting those bushes back in now, and I'll get this ball joint out first. So we'll do that and then we'll start getting it back together. Just like that, guys. So you got your spacer tool in there. That's in. Done. Do the other one. And that is it. It's in, it's not distorted. Ready to go back in the car. Oh, hang on, put this ball joint back in. There you go, ball joint is in. Ready to go back together. Hey Rogie, hey Rogie. Alright guys, painted the chassis black. It's all done, fresh. Look at that. Painted all of our control arms. Got all new ball joints in them. Didn't want to paint them. Anyway, peel that off later. Got my new spindle there, new brake disc. Got my new wheel bearings coming and some grease. So I'm going to start putting all this lot together. Then we'll pack the wheel bearings and chuck them in. And front end will be done. How good. Be able to get the engine back in. Also, I gave these springs a paint job. Just give them a bit of yellow, a bit of a spruce up. Chuck those back in as well. Hey.
That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't get the paint in here good enough, but it's just how it's going to have to be. Oopsie. Too much. Okay. This probably won't work. It's got no engine in it, so it's going to not going to be heavy enough.
You want the whole thing to lift up?
Just the arm. But usually the engine's there, so this compresses easier. See? The whole car's moving. It's off the stand.
Yeah.
Ooh. Might get lucky. Yep. Just.
Hey Mum, how you doing?
I didn't know if you were doing the video or not, that's why I didn't come out at first.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
In here, so they're all new, and the ones down inside there are new ball joints. And I've just painted the springs. Alright guys, we've got the front end back together. Just finished putting the wheel bearings and discs on, and still got a few bolts to tighten up, but I'll go over and check everything once I'm done here. But I'll give you a look, and then we're pretty much done. We're getting to the exciting part. We're going to be putting the engine in. So I'm really excited for that, and I can't wait. So I'll show you what I've done with this front end, and then yeah, that's the end. Alright, brake disc, wheel bearings are on. Everything's back together, all painted up nice, steering's back on, started putting my master cylinder back in. Still a couple of things to check out, make sure I've got everything tight, but basically we're there. So really exciting, can't wait to get this engine put together and put back in, and we're there. So we'll do that on the next one. So hope you liked it. Please drop a comment, like, subscribe, and see you next time.